Good day, my name is Angelo. This is Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. How have we been? As for we over here, we've been perfectly alright. Yes, so I would quickly try to unravel a few events that are like a sequel or a sequel to what I'm going to say, alright? The facts expose. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has been in, a rigorous sort of activity or chain of events recently, especially with the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president of Nigeria. Okay, he has changed the hierarchy of the EFCC and the DSS. I've also experienced a quick, a sort of a quick revamp. But the truth remains that the EFCC have actually, had their own sector, a kind of reshuffled. Let me use that word. The DSS have had theirs, but not at the hierarchy level, though. Other sectors like the Central Bank of Nigeria have also experienced, a sort of change and all that. Now, the EFCC have been into different recovery missions recently, recovered billions and trillions of naira. Although these operations started from the former administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, where the whistleblowers were introduced and, people, gave notifications to security agencies for, people who laundered funds and all that. Now, this time around, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and its officers have actually recovered a big one. I will call it the big fish because this amount of money is not just from one person, but from a range of or a host of politicians, ranging from ex-governors, ex-ministers, and ex-directors and ex-heads of different parastatals and agencies, even commissions. All right, that is to tell you that yes, the new EFCC boss must be working, but not just working. Where would affirm that he's working effectively is when we see these amounts of cash that have been recovered put into good use. So we can also say that the new EFCC boss should put his hands on deck with his officers to see that these funds that are recovered would actually or can actually be channeled to a very, very good and judicious use in governance. All right. Hence, I will be telling you how it was exposed how the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) recovered allegedly 27 billion naira and another $19 million from ex-governors and ex-ministers alike. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has recovered a combined sum of 27 billion 184 million 357,524.52 naira and 19,084,419.33 dollars from 3 different money laundering cases as further efforts are being made by the anti-graft agency to recover more illicit funds. The anti-graft agency said it would soon make public details of its ongoing probe of some former governors, ex-ministers, and several government officials across the federation following the receipt of several petitions. Sources revealed that the anti-graft agency is also carrying out ongoing investigations into some monumental procurement fraud involving some officials of the Federal Ministry of Power and the Ministry of Agriculture, respectively. According to the spokesperson for the EFCC, Dele Oyewole, he went on to explain the recovery process for the EFCC and how the members that are involved and politicians, ex-ministers and governors involved in this will be brought to book in no time. According to Oyewole, he made known how different projects were brought into play in this particular procurement fraud. Oyewole said the anti-graft agency had seized several houses in the Federal Capital Territory, Lagos and Cross River states respectively, which are proceeds of funds meant for the Mambila Plateau project and Zungeru Power projects respectively that were diverted through sundry Bureau de Change operators. Further reports from sources revealed that the EFCC in September quizzed a former Minister of Power, Wan Olu Agunloye, over an alleged $6 billion build, operate and transfer contract. Earlier in May, a former Minister of Power, Wan Sale Mamman, was arrested and detained by the EFCC in connection with an alleged 22 billion naira fraud. All right, I would say categorically here that the expose was vast, yes, though short, but the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have promised that they will make available every name that is found in this list, or every name whose funds were or who actually made available the funds that were recovered for the Nigerian coffers. All right, every name that was involved in the recovery of this 27 billion naira and the $19 million. All right, so I don't know why they are keeping it discreet. Maybe they want to conclude accurate and utmost investigations before being clear on who to call out for certain funds in this particular matter. All right, so I wouldn't say much, but expect to see names of popular ex-ministers, ex-directors, and ex-governors in this list. Secondly, on the issue of security, well, there has been arch rivalry. It has actually existed over a big while now, occurring between security agencies, okay, over time, making them deviate from their primary objectives as security agents. Now, this goes further to show that the public may not be actually safe when these security agencies are trying to show anger in their arch rivalry that has existed over a long period of time now. Okay, I have somebody to talk about this. One, Mr. Patrick Agbambu. Mr. Patrick Agbambu is the president and CEO of the Security Watch Africa Initiatives. Please stay tuned as he gives us a brief, overview of why he thinks the security network in Nigeria is poor and why he has attributed it to the arch rivalry between security agencies in Nigeria, and while he thinks there should be unity or all security agencies should be unified, despite having this arch rivalry existing between them over a long period of time now.
It's very, very unfortunate and sad and condemnable. When this happened, I put up a call because I couldn't get to Adamawa myself. I was in Kaduna after the Kaduna incident to find out what really happened. It's quite sad because when this happened, it rubbish all the efforts you're making, because you're telling the public that they are not safe. Anybody could attack them, and it could just say anything, because at the end of it, what has happened to the previous ones that committed such crimes? So it's been a big problem and it's been lingering. I will tell you that what I know very well is that all the services, their senior cadres work in harmony. They work there because there are forum of their meeting together. There are interactions. The problem we always have is the lower level of this personnel, and that is where the problem is. Again, it has to do with their level of comprehending issues and being able to understand. In security, they are taught to use their initiative some of the times, because what brings this, you're on line of duty and somebody, whether wearing mufti or even in uniform, there's an infraction that is committed by this officer, and he said, look, I'm so. There's courtesy that, okay, you should, since we are the same, we are serving the same country, we are
serving the same people. Is it not called esprit de corps?
Esprit de corps, yes. You are expected to at least accord some this. You are not saying free him, but you should accord some this. Now, no, we need to confirm, cross-check, and confirm that you are real.
Patrick, let me come in here.
Which actions can be taken. But most times, either because of the pressure in the society, they go overboard and commit a lot of heinous crimes.
Patrick, there must be something that perhaps we're missing. Perhaps maybe I like the fact that you've been able to tell us that amongst the officers, there's this synergy amongst the rank and file is where you have the bickerings. Time was in this country during the military regimes. We've seen Commissioner of Police as state administrators. They worked harmoniously. Yeah. So is it about the recruitment process to the extent that some people just coming in must have gotten it all wrong, to the extent that they believe that one is much more superior to another?
Okay. I will tell you, this is one of the issues I also took up some time ago when I said that an ordinary Nigerian who has interest to join any of the services, let's just take the military or the police. The military, you are given a training of 6 months. you already formed your character, your temperament. You know, it's there. 6 months is not enough to transform you to becoming a very well coordinated person. Because as a military man and you have to bear arm, you need to be coordinated and level-headed. You know, and part of the thing they teach them is on how to the rules of engagement, the rules of using these arms. You can't just use it at any time. In fact, the most sober persons I have seen are those in the services.
Right.
That is how it should
Because
be, because we are trained to tame your anger most times. But what we've seen in the level cadre is that they didn't have enough time in the train through the regimental system. Once they come out, they are given some orientation and deployed. Then though they are still in service training, but that is not enough to change the psyche and the thinking and the character of that person.
It's the
so
country.
In the police, you have just 6 months.
I don't know how
9
troubling
months.
this might be.
Right. If you ask me, I will say he's correct. Very, very correct. And we'll go from that to see how, well, this opinion of his is not actually public opinion. But what he's coming to do is to throw little light and bring the minds of those people who are heads or service chiefs who are apparently heads of these, security agencies, so that there will be sort of unity. Because without unity, we wouldn't be able to achieve the goals of our security agencies. That is how it works. These security agents are not there to just protect the high, the rich, and the mighty. They are there to serve as protection for life and property of everybody in Nigeria. So there shouldn't be sacred cows to be secured. All right. Finally, let's talk on economic development now. Over time, since Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged as president, Nigerians have been expecting to see a more detailed economic development that is compared or that can actually emanate from the template of the manifesto that was read by the APC candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu during the campaign period. All right, we've had lots of issues or lots of we've had lots of opinions on the issue of renewed hope agenda. That's all we hear all the time. Okay, no transition from manifesto into development and all that. What are the present administration doing to remedy the situation? Talking about this, I have Dr. Franklin Nungu. Dr. Franklin Nungu is a director, Public Sector Initiative, Lagos Business School. He has more analysis on why he thinks the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has been unable to transcend from manifesto to development. That is, putting in what they have said with the word of mouth into action. Please, stay tuned.
Exactly. So it's good to be optimistic, Charles, but of course, in reality, you have to also ask yourself, where are we now? And what are the drivers of this inflation? Have we been able to do a kind of regulatory impact assessment to really know what brought us to this point? And now say, what are the key priorities that we're going to use to address issues of inflation, to address issues of interest rate, to address issues of foreign exchange pressures and all that. So even though, it's good to say we're going to come down, we also need a more detailed economic development agenda from the government, explaining in clear details how some of these things will be achieved. I'm not questioning the optimism, I'm not questioning the ambition to bring some of these things down, but Nigerians expect to see more detailed economic development agenda. So what we keep hearing is that we have a renewed hope agenda, which we all know. It has a eight-point agenda in the renewed hope. But the question then is, after manifesto, we are now in government. So the question then is, how do you now translate the manifesto into actionable development strategic document that will enable Nigeria to say clearly, if we move agriculture from point 1 to point 2, if we move manufacturing from point 1 to point 3, this will now enable us to achieve a reduced inflation. That will now enable more food products to come onto the table, and Nigerians will now be better off, and unemployment will reduce, employment will increase, inflation will come down. Some of these things need to be contained in a well-documented, coordinated economic development agenda, which we don't really have at the moment.
All right, all said and done. I would quickly give a brief on this. Well, there are fake promises, there are empty promises, and there are people who come into power just because they want to sweet talk you. All right. I wouldn't like to say this administration has fallen short, because we have seen nothing yet. But I think there should be more time for them to be able to put things in check. Things are beginning to fall in place according to few Nigerians on the streets, and things are beginning to, well, not everything though, but the most important is that the fact that the economy of Nigeria is actually wrong. It's at a wrong path. All right, we're heading for destruction if we don't fix all these things. The NNPCL needs to be revamped. The agricultural sector needs to be revamped. The other sectors like the security sector needs to be revamped. Education needs to be revamped. All right, these places are key sectors that need immediate attention, not putting attention in foreign exchange and all that. Yes, the foreign exchange is quite okay. All right, they are cool, as I said earlier, but you can't just focus your attention on one sector. All right, I don't know why he keeps traveling, going on summits and all that. There are places in Nigeria that need this attention. All right, I have named the sectors, and we shouldn't really play down the possibilities of upgrading these sectors, because while we upgrade these sectors, we are also upgrading the country and revamping the political face in Nigeria, and also we are also renewing the confidence the people have in politicians over time. Thank you so much for staying this far. Please like, share our videos, watch till the end. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section. If you're watching me for the first time, tap the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you will get to see me earlier or quickly when I drop a new update. See you next time. Bye.